I know this anime may be a hentai, but dear gosh. Um, so I found this anime, and I think this anime is called Sun So Harasu. I don't really don't know what this name is mean. I really don't know. Uh, Paranormal romantic comedy manga series by Nuko Anime. It was serialized in Japan magazine manga for blah blah blah. Yeah, blah blah. So I guess it's not a hentai, but dear gosh, what is this? Okay, so it's Miss Caretaker. What is this thing about? Because it's kind of weird. So the series follows Aiki Shina, who, wanting to reaffirm his identity as a man after being teased for his feminine looks, moves to Sensuhira lodging house in Tokyo. He develops a crush on Sensuhira's proprietor Ayaka, who, along with the other girls living there, often tease him and make him dress like a lady. It's not nice. The series was well received by critics who liked the characters and found the writing funny. The thing was that what makes this thing so what was kind of creepy was like it's kind of like odd, like this scene that I first found. Am I? Can anyone hear me? Like, is my mic on? So this was kind of the part. I'm gonna turn on like the sound. Um, yeah, it's supposed to be, but I want it to also capture sound from the computer. I don't know how to do that. So she asks, wait, he said, I'm Shina Aki. Aki? Wait, are you a girl? I'm a boy. Yeah, that was the part that was weird. This is the first animation I saw of it, and I'm like, how old is this sucker? Um, cause he looked like I know this is like reverse lowly, cause well not really reverse lowly. Lowly is like a character who's older looks like someone who's prepubescent. And so this is why it was a little weird, cause I kind of knew he was a boy from the get. I was like, is this a girl? No, it looks kind of like a boy. It has no boobs. It looks like a freaking child. Um, And then I just watched a clip because it had a girl on it, and I've been hearing of these. Actually, I'm a boy memes, and so like, and then I saw this and I saw its original, so I'm like, oh yeah, well let's see what the original one was like. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be where she's actually a boy, and then it totally took me in a place that I never thought I'd be going. Then I noticed something else, and I was just trying not to believe this anime was what it seemed. Just the fact that she's called caretaker and the fact she looks significantly older is so disturbing and uncomfortable. What's happening? Did she just kiss somebody? It says she starts attacking people when she's drunk. And I'm just like, what just happened? It's weird. This anime has such good art, and I feel like it's kind of wasted with all the pedophilia stuff. What just happened? No, you can't. Run, just like a free arm open over there. Miss Caretaker, you're supposed to do this stuff with people you're in love with. You just sound like a child. Okay, run. this point, she just passed out because she was drunk. Literally. It was just like, you look so freaking young. She should be kind of in jail? I mean, the description describes her as kind hearted, but she's just so inappropriate. I mean, like, it's fully possible that the anime may portray her as nice. Like, the anime might portray her as a kind person, despite all this weird, inappropriate stuff. But it's like she's this really inappropriate person. But if that were the case, then most likely this anime would portray her as this really inappropriate person who has no idea that she shouldn't be doing these things. This is so uncomfortable to watch. Seriously, he does have feminine features. Okay, then. I didn't realize how overly sexual this scene was. Bruh, if you want to act more mannish, just cut your hair. Like, honestly, just cut it. Cut your hair. This is the boy here. Cut his hair. Just cut your hair. You should be fine. There's a ton of male styles. Just cut it. Cut it. But his hair's already short. Yeah, but the length is the problem. Yeah, of course she's not going to. How old is she? Okay then. I wonder if this is literally hentai. I mean, this is kind of weird. Let's be real. I wouldn't say this would be good as a romantic comedy because this just looks too straight up pedophilia. I mean, I know she's pretty and all, and yeah, I know that it is kind of realistic with the boobs, but you don't have to focus it on the boobs, and you don't have to focus the girl's boobs being on his back. You don't have to focus that. And you don't have to make them so big either. I mean, I know that, yeah, some women do have more big boobs, and this could sort of go on like that. But, like, again, you don't have to do that. You don't have to focus on things. It shows you direct innuendos. It's just really awkward. What is Shota? Oh, that makes sense. So Shota, their faces right there. So basically, Shota is literally a term used for underage boys. Why would you like Aiki the most? Yeah, this is sick. Because I held it out in my head that he might be older, but he just looks so much younger. But like, because anime can do that to you sometimes. But like, dear gosh. He is. They say he's cool and like certain annoying Shota, and he's not dense. He's the most mature Shota I've ever seen in any anime. They say that's why I really would ship him with her. Yet once he grows up, he would become a reliable, responsible man himself. Although, just look at him now though, and I'm just like, technically, and some people, I mean, it's like, it's just the fact that Shota is really kind of an underage dude or sex involving underage dude. It's just like, that's technically sick. Like you're not supposed to have sex with children. Like in real life, things don't go this way. And as much as I like there's tons of animes that don't take a pedophilic approach. Well, at least not a massively pedophilic approach. But this is like weird. They said it's wholesome, and I'm just like, this doesn't look wholesome. I think what attracts people to it is really number one, denial, and number two, the style, the sounds, and the voices of the characters. That and some possible culture differences. But it's just like, it's so uncomfortable for me to watch as a Houston, Texas American girl. It's just like, it's just a little bit, I mean, just the fact, it's like it's commonly used as, like, Shota is commonly used as a warning on fanfic, and I'm just like, yeah, what the fuck? And Shotokan, abbreviated from the term Shotaro complex, is a Japanese slang describing an attraction to young boys. It's like the Shotaro complex describes it as sexual attraction to younger boys, usually by adult males. However, females may also have this attraction. This is kind of sick and disturbing. It's also Lolishan, whereas an attraction to prepubescent girls. It's very similar to the Lolita complex, a sexual complex that is similar to that. It describes a sexual attraction to younger girls, usually by adult males. Females may also have it, but not as common. It is named after the title character in the novel by Vladimir Nabokov. The story involved a man who became obsessed with a 12-year-old girl. The Lolita complex is often shortened to Lolishan. The Shotaro complex describes a basically it is named for the boy hero of Toshina-san 28 ago, known as Gongenator, a person of questionable size with huge hands and appendices and in unmitigated carnage, which is also a popular generic name for young male characters in anime. The Shotaro complex is also shortened to Shotokan. Matured early. Those with the Shotaro complex, like boys matured, who are matured early in nature. A young underage male engaged in a sexual act. Yeah, I don't know how to feel. Japan is creepy. I don't know what to say. I guess I'll just let God take this over. I've already prayed, so yeah. I don't think this is a good thing. I'm gonna be honest. This is technically a bad thing. This is pedophilia. I mean, some people may be saying, well, it's okay because they're mature. Here's the thing. This isn't how it works in real life. In real life, you don't have that kind of maturity. Little kids don't know about sexual things, no matter how much they want you to. It's just that in Japan, the media is just way more lenient. The culture is just way more lenient. At least that's what it seems like due to the animes that, well, not really, just these animes they're making. And I saw one anime where a grown man was sort of in a relationship with a 15-year-old. Grown man was in his 20s. Girl was 15. Like, this is like it's like a culture shock. I could literally expect, like, in some parts of East Asia and Korea, like that thing where she tried to pull down his pants to see if she was a boy, that actually happens. And guess what? Younger generation does not like it at all. Here's the thing. It's very rare that you'll see someone of the younger generation in a part of Korea actually do it. But when it comes to older generation, like the old people, yeah, some of the old women, like a woman who came from America and married a Korean and went to Korea with her son, had a boy, a son. So she took him to Korea and she was just walking down and the woman was like, "Is he American, I guess?" And she was like, "Yeah, I guess." So the woman went to try and pull his pants down, saying Americans have bigger. And so the mother had to stop the woman from doing that, and she took her son away. And the father was so angry because the people in his area used to do that a lot to the kids of the younger generation. They used to just randomly pull your pants down to see your private parts. And the people of the younger generation hated it. It's rare for someone of the younger generation, they said, to do it, but it's very common for someone of the older generation to do it. Basically, there's heavy, low levels of boundaries. In some countries like South Korea, a dude on national TV said he likes to play with his son's private parts. He says that at some point, like in some age, he says that he said the father thought at first they liked it and then later on they began to hate it. And his son was seemingly trying to get away from him and didn't like it when his son didn't like it when his father touched him, even when it wasn't on his privates. And they were just laughing with his father about it in front of the little boy. And I feel like if this keeps up in a future generation, Japanese people and all the East Asian kids are just going to start getting really fed up with this and start being anti accepting. And what's kind of sad is that all these animes that kind of have all this pedophilic and over sexuality, like I feel like Japan has gone sexually perverse. I feel like East Asia, except for China, has gone sexually perverse. And I can say that because if you have a country where people randomly pull your pants down with no boundaries and the pants down of little children just to see if a little boy has a big private part, in a country where pedophilia is kind of openly done, well, not openly because sexual assault in Japan is illegal, and the stuff where the father sort of went and said he sexually assaulted his son and he got like laughter with him, not at him, with him on it, that happened in South Korea. Animes are Japanese, and there are some issues with South Korea. Like one woman said she got raped and she told her friends, and her friends said that it was her fault because she was like dressed too provocatively and stuff. Well, she didn't get raped, she got sexually assaulted, and she decided to leave South Korea, and she said she never wanted to come back. She had nightmares of Korea. Now, this may not have been in South Korea, she just said Korea, but it's possible it was in South Korea, because North Korea is really restrictive. I'm not sure if they'll let you in. Whereas South Korea is more open. I hope that they're like, I'm not really sure if there's people in Korea that are against pedophilia. It's just really awkward. I feel like it's like in America, I think it's like the media. I think it's the media that's the problem in Japan. Like in Japan, you may not be able to go out and be society, like society might not accept you dating an underage girl or a 12-year-old boy or a 12-year-old girl. But the TV, the people who make those movies, like in America, yeah, oftentimes it's just like you could lose ratings for making something that promotes pedophilia. You could lose ratings. Now, if the story is enthralling enough, you may keep them, and is entertaining enough, you may keep them. But like in Japan, it seems like there's really no fear of the general public. Like in America, our entertainment industry has a fear of the general public because general public Americans don't like pedophilia. Most often, will avoid any movie with it being promoted. Whereas, like in Japan, it seems like they just have no fear when it comes to bringing up like sexual assaults, um, pedophilia, stuff like that. I've decided to look up the age of consent in Japan. Now, there was, like, at one point, I don't think the age of consent was low because they say that there was a thing where Japanese people had kind of tricked women into going in and being prostitutes for the military. So, but when one of the women was 16 and they said she was the youngest worker, they were like, isn't she a little bit too young for this? So I think there is sort of an age of consent. Oh, age of Japanese, age of consent in Japan. Okay, so the age of consent in Japan, the age of consent is as low as 13, although some municipalities, such as Tokyo, prohibit sexual activity under 18 years old in most circumstances. On mainland China, the minimum age is 14, rising to 16 in Hong Kong. According to the article Marriage in Japan on the official website for the American Embassy in Tokyo, Japan, the male partner must be 18 years of age or older, and the female partner must be 16 years of age or older. A person who is under 20 years of age cannot get married in Japan without a parent's approval. Okay, then. The lowest age of consent in the world is 11 years old, which is in Nigeria. Additionally, several Middle Eastern and African countries have no legal age of consent but ban all sexual relations outside of marriage. In Japan, Taiwan, and Thailand, a minor is a person under 20 years of age. At present, people must be 20 years old to marry without parental permission. With parental permission, married men can marry from 18 and girls can marry from as young as 16. Marriage age in the United States is a little creepy. But not, yeah, kinda, but in a sense not. I think it is. In recent years, several states have increased their marriageable age, including in 2020, Idaho, Indiana, and Minnesota. Although in 10 states there is no set minimum age by statute, the traditional common law minimum age is 14 for boys and 12 for girls, ages which have been confirmed by case law in some states. And here it was like Japan moves to end child marriage. However, if you watch Japanese animations, yeah, I guess some of the producers are aiming for a lower consent Because considering that they have Lolisha and just people like older characters with younger characters who are too young to be engaged in sexual activity, and like younger characters who are just too young in general, like women, younger girls with older men. It's like while the population may not be for it, the movie industry might be. That happens in America too. Ironically, in some countries you have a movie industry like France. France, like when Lolita, when the story of Lolita was produced in France, the cover of the book portrayed the predator, the male predator that was obsessed with the 12-year-old girl as a predator. However, in America, they made it look like the 12-year-old girl was seducing the grown man. However, most people in America are against pedophilia. So it's more likely the producers that are trying to put out and, I guess, indoctrinate us to like it. There's a lot of cases in anime where you can say FBI open up. Sometimes.